What's up everybody, welcome back to another drawing tutorial. So today we are going to be drawing a Titan from the Monsterverse, Tiamat. Right, so this image has been newly released, and I think it's officially announced that Tiamat is going to be part of the new movie series, which is kind of cool. So he's kind of like a fish dragon. That's what he looks like to me anyway. So I'm on a landscape page. You definitely use pencil and an eraser for this. Pretty complicated, right? He's like a snaking head, right? That's what we're going to draw. But he's got lots of fins and stuff coming down, like all these tentacles and all this kind of stuff, right? So simple enough in like the overall form, but when you get to the details, it can be quite complicated. So definitely pencil, eraser, erase your mistakes, and you can always do ink. Black ink on top if you want, or you can just leave it a pencil sketch and shade it in. So let's go, I guess. Let's just go. So we're going to put his head like over the left hand side and some of his body down here, right? So we're going to start with his eye, right? So I've got two different images here I'm working from, so we'll go just to try and make sense of the head. So his eye kind of angles up, right? So we'll do it here. And just leave yourself enough room for the snout on the edge of the page, right? So what I mean by angles up is it goes up this way. Like that kind of thing. And then the bottom comes down here, like that. So you can see like it's pointing down, sort of thing. So this version of his eye has, you could give him like a snake-like long eye, or I'll try to do what's on the screen. So like this sort of line like that, and then a gap and another line here. Right, that kind of an eye. Right, so then we've got certain various frown lines and eye lines and stuff. So we got like a bag, like a skin line underneath his eye here, top line, like so, like an eyelid line, like that. And he's real wrinkly and stuff, so lots of kind of wrinkles and stuff coming around his eye, right? And he's got like a big eyebrow up here, like a big sort of bumping, frowning thing that goes all the way down to his snout, right? So it's real bumpy and wavy, goes down this way. And there's more detail just inside here, right? So like a big sort of eyebrow sort of line goes off this way as well. And we'll continue down here and travel back this way, right? Like lots of wrinkles then and stuff, as much of this kind of texture stuff as you want to add. And eventually it just goes back this way, and this comes to a horn that sticks off the back of his head, sort of like back here. So we'll go waving, bumping back this way, right? And this will curve around, come back, wavy, bumpy thing, and it goes back right underneath his eye to there, okay? And then there's loads of like waving texture lines on this as well. They kind of go up behind here, coming down. So loads of stuff like this. And there can be some like texture in between. Like that, right? And then we have his snout, and there's like a big tentacle that comes all the way down here. So we do like the top of the snout first, I guess. So this is like his eyebrow area, right? And then this will eventually come out towards the front of his nose, going out this way, right? And it gets like real spiky, pointy, sort of out here, right? Comes to like a spike like that. And then it comes down. And bumping around, right? So it'll go like bumpy, sort of scaly kind of stuff. And this is like, yeah, this is all sort of skin and bumps and wrinkles, and this will eventually come back this way, right? So it's kind of like a bird beak kind of thing. And this bumps around, and it comes to another horn here. It kind of reminds me of Ghidorah, sort of a little bit. So this comes back this way. So we're just getting our general shape now for the top of his skull, right? And then this kind of comes back around, down this way, down to here and back up into his head. Right, and it kind of joins his skull there. And this can have lots of texture and things on it, as much as you want. And like his mouth sort of area as well has lots of these texture sort of lines running back this way. Right, like so. So then there seems to be like more sort of bumping kind of lines on the front here as well, like coming back this way. Maybe some texture and things on it too. Some more texture on this. Right, like that. And then there's something round right here. It's like a thing. It's hard to see, but okay, so this tentacle has this bulbous protrusion, right? It goes into his mouth there. And it kind of comes out this way. Right, we'll draw it in. So this comes like, and this can go like any way really. It's like goes back really long, right? Like this is like crazy long, this thing. I'm just going as long as I can, right? And then it comes just following, and we get kind of skinnier as we go down off that way. And this can have like, it looks like you know, lines kind of like this sort of thing. And if you go over any of his face, you know, you can just sort of erase those lines. All right. All the way down. Like so. And then like more texture here. So with these sorts of creatures, it's all about the texture really when you're drawing them. So don't be afraid of it. There's like another round thing here. I don't know what it is. It's like another sort of tentacle-y kind of thing. Like that, kind of sticks off his face. Alright, so like this. And there's a bit more to the top of his head. There's like two big horns that come back this way. So we have like top of his head here. And this will go like back this way. Down. and then join this kind of big horn that goes back this way. Like this one is super big, so it like waves back like so, and it probably will go off the top of my page. If you have more room, that comes to just a point, like just off the top of my page, but it's like ridiculously big, so I couldn't fit it in. And then comes back down and just goes into the back of this, sort of here. And this then, more texture, right? So like this sort of, it's kind of like a zigzag sort of thing. With like lines like so, coming up and down. Right, kind of like that, and then texture on his forehead and stuff. And we can see like his eyebrow on the other side, right? This other sort of bumpy line coming just around there. And then the top of his head, that eventually becomes his snaking body, comes around here, and this has ridges on it. So like a couple of things like this. So we're thinking, he's like a fish dragon, right? So we're thinking like wavy sort of things and flowing kind of things, kind of trying to get that feel for like a water creature. So like the horns are the same. See the way they kind of flow and change direction and all that kind of thing. Right, again, this kind of thing. And so as much texture now as you want. Like that, right? So that's the top half of his head. So the bottom half of his head now. So we'll start just here from the jaw, right? So we'll go this way, right? So we'll just bring it in here and start to go down, right? So it's an open mouth. So we'll go this way, like so, and his bottom lip kind of flops down sort of a little bit here, and then it kind of goes around like so. And around into the teeth on the other side, so we'll go around here. Alright, so it's a bit weird, okay, but this is how it looks. And then his bottom of his chin, just here. And then we've got like some extra protrusions just from the gum, right? So like line here, curves around like that. And this is like all bumps and scales and stuff on it. So this is like bottom of his lip, and then so it seems to have a tooth that like comes out here. So this is like the first tooth, okay? So we'll just add this like here. And then the next tooth comes up this way. in behind this one, right? So we'll just place these so we just get an idea where the teeth go. And the teeth on top, right? So we've got like this kind of bumping kind of gum line. And he's got some gum lines here as well, but we'll just add these first. Go back to the back of his mouth, just in there. And then the first two teeth, so one kind of comes off this way, sticks out. There. And then another one, say like here. Right, and then we have rows of teeth that go back, but we'll just get in sort of the gum line first, just so we can have an idea. This is like this fleshy part of his mouth, right? Like that, and then another one sort of here. So coming around. Back into like here somewhere. And then we have the side of his mouth here, like the sort of, this goes all the way back then. And then we have the other skin sort of section of his mouth here, right? So that sort of lined kind of section on his mouth like that. And then maybe like some, well, we'll do the teeth first. So, so we'll just add them coming across the bottom, coming out from his gum here. And they kind of get smaller as they go back, right? So we got these coming out from his gum. And they get a little bit smaller as we go back. And as you draw over things, you know, you can erase or color over the gum line, etc., right? And then the teeth down here, so coming out from his gum line again, quite large at first. Like so. Some lines just inside the mouth here. Like so, and I'll erase any lines inside the teeth now that we shouldn't see. Right, so then teeth on top, similar sort of thing, just like large sort of spiking teeth coming down from the gum. They look to be a little like sharper on top, on the top of his mouth than like skinnier, kind of like. And then they go back into the back of his mouth and get a little bit smaller as we go. Right. Like that, and we should maybe see some teeth on the other side of his mouth just sticking down in between every now and then. Like so. Right, so that's pretty much his mouth. So the bottom jaw, right? So he's got, again, lots of these flowing sort of tentacle stuff coming down here. So let's say we put one here, right? Spiking back that way. And then this is like a big spike just sticking off his chin there. And then he's another smaller one beside it. There. And then this comes around like so. And then the bottom of the jaw will go back this way underneath. And then eventually to another sort of spike coming off the jaw here, like so. I think there's another one on top of this as well, so we can bring it back in, go up, and then this one comes back. Real far, I think. So like, we'll go back to there maybe, and then this will go up like so, like that. And then again we can have this sort of waving vein or something that's in the horn, this waving line. It seems to come out from the jaw here as well. Don't know if it's a vein or what, but and then this has more texture. Texture all here. You know, lots of these kind of vertical lines in between each of these ridges. Right, like that, and then like some more stuff, like some texture on these, and some more texture on the lip. Right, so, and like how much texture you put on this guy is kind of, it's a personal choice, right? It's a how much are you willing to do, so. Right, kind of like this, and there's like another spike on the other side of his chin, so it just comes down behind this one. So we can't really see the whole thing, you can just see a little bit of it. Just there. But again, texture. Like that. And then we have another tentacle coming down from this side of his face, right? So it kind of bumps out from behind his nose. There. And then it'll go down and come underneath these guys. So that goes in behind these. So jump over them and continue that way. Maybe do the same thing here. And you can add, so like just these sort of dashes coming down the tentacle. See on one side. So if you did one side first and then do the other side, and you want them to be like in between, see, like alternate. Or you could go straight across, depending on how you feel. Lots of different ways of doing texture on creatures like this. It's like sometimes like lizards, you can put like these circles and stuff, you know. So he's more of a fish-like creature, so. Okay, now that's his head. So he's like a fish, right? So what we'll do is we'll sketch in the main sort of part of his body, right? So it goes, I think from here, right? So it goes like this way. And it goes like, so kind of this down there, right? And then he has this bulbous, sort of bumpy kind of part underneath here. Right, that kind of goes in up this way. Up into there. It kind of curves around, right? There's all fins and stuff over this, so it's kind of hard to see. But we'll say the sort of snake-like part of his body goes like down here. Right, so that's like his back, and then the front of it like here, so it's quite narrow, so like say there, and then this comes up around up into here somewhere, joins the belly sort of part there, right? So he's quite skinny, right? So it's like this, but he's got like lots of fins and stuff on this whole shape, right? And then this round part underneath his throat. So all these fins and stuff now, and waves and spikes and all crazy stuff, right? So let's say, where would the first one be? So coming out from, say, here, right? So we've got, say, like some, like another bumpy sort of section on top of his head or something here. Right, and then there's like his ear, I would say, comes out from the side of his head, right? And it'll go up past this. Now, if we go over any sections, we can erase them, okay? So this comes out here, and then it has like, so like spikes and stuff coming off, like this, and then it comes back underneath, sort of back in this way, right back into there, and it has like lots of texture and stuff on it here, like the inside. I don't know if it's an ear, maybe it is an ear, right, like that. And it joins his head, right, so in here. And I'll just erase the line in there so we can make this out a little bit better. So like that, right? So that's like his ear. So there's all texture and stuff on the inside, right? And like lines coming down, you know, like this way. And again, we're thinking sort of wavy and fishy, sort of aqua sort of things, and like all texture here as well. So that's his ear, right? And then he has fins coming all down his back. So the first one, I think, comes out from behind his ear here. So like it goes up and it goes behind the horn and just comes out this way. Back here, and then back into there, and back down to the front of his head, down here somewhere. Right, so there's another one then in behind, so it goes there, it comes out this way, goes in behind this one, kind of bumps around the back. You can't really see much of it because it disappears behind there. So then this thing has like all texture lines going this way. Right, like that. And then there's more that comes down behind, right? So like another one here. There's like a whole row of them. You just gotta draw them in. So kind of have this round end to them. Coming back like so. And then it meets the next one, so you go up again. Round. Down to there. Then back around. And like sometimes with little spikes and stuff. And then another one. Going that way. And then another one here. Right, and then some stuff in behind these and texture. That roughly, stuff in behind here. Right, so then he's two more rows of this stuff on his body, coming down his body, and then one on the bottom, and he has another flowing ear type thing here that comes out from his face. So we'll do the other flowing ear thing. So this comes around. It's pretty complicated now. It's more complicated than I thought. Right, so another sort of ear-like structure. Down around there. And this is all texture lines on it like this. And we'll erase any lines underneath we shouldn't see. And then there's like some more ridges on his belly sort of here. That, and then more tentacles coming down this way. Man, there's a lot of these fish like fins and stuff. Right, so there's another one. I'm gonna say coming out here, okay? And this comes up around here, kind of roundy on top, and comes back down in underneath the ear. And then another layer of them, so it's this way. Right down his back. So this one goes off the page that way. So I hope this isn't too confusing, but it goes that way. And then another one like here. Right, I'll just erase the back line that we shouldn't see then. Right, so before I add texture, we'll get the rest of the rows done, right? So another layer down here, right? So, and then coming down his belly this way. Another one here. Like that, and then there's one sticking off the bottom here. Like so, and then some more fins then kind of sticking out down here as well. So like here. These ones kind of have little spikes on them that we can see anyway. And then something else on the other side. There. Then a fin here. Lots of fins. This is probably very difficult to draw, to follow along. But hey, it's fun to draw it. Even though it's really hard. Right, there's another fin here. It's kind of fun. It's fun to do challenging things, and this is challenging. So like, this is like his belly. There's like a ridge that comes across here, comes up, and then belly lines here, like texture and stuff coming down. And then there's all like texture all over these, right? So like texture here. Texture on all these fins, so they have like edges to them that sort of go that way, and then they have texture all over them. I missed a line to erase there. Like these have all edges and ridges. And then we have texture going this way. Just following sort of the direction of each one. So then we'll try and darken up some lines, thicken them up just to show some shadow. So that's his belly, right? And his belly seems to have ridges going this way, kind of like this kind of thing, right? So these sorts of lines. Right, all this texture. So what I'm going to do now, right, is just darken up some of the main areas, right? So like the edges of objects, I'm going to just thicken up their lines, right? Like this kind of stuff, like his ear here, just to try and make things a little clearer, because it is a complicated image. So I'm going to try and separate the main lines from the texture lines. So what I'm doing is darkening up, thickening up really, the edges of objects. This is adding a line weight. like so, to some of the main parts. It's just a little trick you learn as you go, right? And I'll just do that all over, and I'll probably speed this up. So there's just like an extra bump in the back of his head here that I missed. Right, but that's it really, right? So I just thickened up our edge lines just to sort of make certain elements a bit clearer. And I just missed a line here to erase. Right, but hopefully it's a little bit clearer now what we're looking at. All the fins, very complicated Titan, so I can understand if a lot of people didn't get to the end of this. But I thought he looked really cool. I saw that it was released on the official website. That's his back here. There's actually another fin going this way. Yeah. But there he is, Tiamat. Can't wait to see him in the movies. Hope it was helpful, guys. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.